And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, as well as our engineer extraordinaire, Nick the Geek, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome back for another one of these shows that are always an award show because, well, it just seems like the thing to do. Everybody else is, so we make every show an award show, and you can help us choose the award winners. Just tell us if you know of someone that has done something musically related that was either incredibly great or incredibly dumb. And, hey, we'll have an award right here for it. Welcome to all of our listeners, not only around the world, but in Rochester, New York, who listen to us on WRFZ-FM 106.3, Rochester Free Radio. So glad to have you all with us. And, of course, our friends out at the House of Guitars, where they listen to us. As a matter of fact, we had Armand on last week's show, and really an interesting and really a wonderful show. I really enjoyed talking with Armand and also his son Eric, who I spoke with, and learning more about them and the House of Guitars and all of our wonderful listeners up there in Rochester. How are you doing this week, John Bon Jovial?
Well, fairly wonderful there, Mr. Bowers. I tell you what, it's been a gorgeous, beautiful winter week here in Southwest Florida. We had our cold wave for the year. I think it went down to 39 one night, and we had the lowest high temperature that we had for one day last week was 58 degrees. It was just absolutely hilarious to see people bundled up in parkas here in Southwest Florida because, as you all know, here in Florida, it never gets cold. It may cool off a little bit, but it doesn't get cold.
No, well, it's kind of like what we have to deal with here in the sunshine of Arizona, the Valley of the Sun, as they call it. But we've been down in the 40s, and we had one day where we didn't make 60, which was a little bit cool, but not outrageous. Actually, we've been warmer than usual. We're supposed to be in the mid-60s, and we've been in the 70s to near 80 some days. So hopefully that doesn't mean a warmer than usual summer because it gets warm enough as it is here. But anyway, we want to say hello also to our house band, Titty Bingo from Austin, Texas, where they rock the house, and they also back up some great artists, including Willie and a couple other artists that they back up too. I don't have the names right here in front of me, but they're a great band. They just do some plain old kick butt rock and roll good time music. Check them out online at tittybingo.com. And remember, it's always time to play Titty Bingo. And if you want, drop them a line, or even drop me a line, and we'll send you a Titty Bingo bumper sticker. How about that? We got some Titty Bingo stickers that we'll be happy to send out to you. So our address here is very simple. Online, it's David at TheDavidBowers.com. I keep it simple so that I can remember it because memory.
You are pretty simple, so.
Yes, well, memory isn't my strongest suit. As a matter of fact, I'm still looking through the closet to see what my strongest suit is. But one of the things I'm good at is talking. And sometimes I get carried away, and this is, I think, going to be one of those times because I'm going to give our first The David Bowers Award of the week out, and it's this one's a little bit of a rant. This is not a salute to what I think is a good thing, and I have already had a discussion with one person who disagrees vehemently with me, which I'm not surprised at. People are always vehemently disagreeing with me, and I just have to take issue with the policy of some presenters and web programs and venues after a lifetime in the business And that goes back a ways, let me tell you, folks. It goes back to, well, you probably remember reading about the payola scandals of the 50s. Well, I was alive then too, and even after all this time, I have come to the conclusion I have never and never will support pay to play. As far as I'm concerned, it's just wrong. It's like buying votes, and it guarantees that the people with the money get the preferential treatment over the true talent. And I believe it's wrong. It's also illegal in broadcast radio unless you present. They found a way around it. You can present it like a political ad or infomercial and state something to the effect that this is a paid presentation and not to be considered standard airplay. So, if you want to pay your way onto broadcast radio, it can be done, but it's patently unfair, and I will never support it. These types of shows that do this, they're typically shows that have little sponsor support and virtually no substantiated audience. And basically, from my mind, they are just taking advantage of artists who want to do whatever they can to make it in the business. And I also do not support artists and agents and promoters who play the game. I've been working with and promoting artists and their music for so long, we're talking decades, and I will never be a party to pay to play in radio or in venues. And as I said, I just had a round with an internet radio guy who actually he provoked this discussion by informing me that he's switching his whole operation over to exclusively pay to play. You want to make it on his station, you're going to have to pay him to play your music. And that's how we got into this discussion and why you're being burdened by listening to me rant about it. But I just don't do it. I don't support artists, agents, promoters, stations who play that game, or venues either for that matter. You'll find a lot of small-time venues that they place the burden of promotion on the artists. They'll have them come in and they'll tell them, okay, you can play this venue, but you're going to pay us to play here. And I'm thinking, that's kind of like making the caterer pay to put food on your table. I don't go for it. The artists do their work, learning their craft, their instruments, rehearsing, recording, and performing the music. They shouldn't have to pay to get somebody to listen to it and line somebody else's pockets any more than your caterer should have to pay to put food on your table. Now, I do support boycotting those who do. I'm not saying that I'm boycotting anyone at this point in time, but if you feel you don't want to, you don't want to patronize somebody that does that, hey, I wholeheartedly support you in that. As far as I'm concerned, it's the responsibility of the radio station to support itself through legitimate advertisers and or voluntary underwriting. You just simply don't charge people to work for you. And if you can't support your own business, get out of it. All I've got to say is, John Bon Jovial?
I couldn't have said it better myself, especially the raspberry sound. That was a raspberry sound, wasn't it? Not a gas.
That was a raspberry.
Not gastrointestinal stress sound, was it?
No.
Now, I believe you have hit the nail on the head there, sir. People that promote the pay-to-play are, as far as I'm concerned, beneath pond scum. And it is illegal in terrestrial radio. It should be illegal no matter where you go. It's just not right. There's a lot of talented musicians out there, superbly talented musicians, that just don't have the bread to be able to promote themselves. And that's why there are guys like you out there that are trying to pave a way for these guys to make it in the big time.
Well, as I didn't, and I'm not going to name names, but I will offline get with you, and I'll show you the instance that happened online. It was someone I was in contact with me on Facebook, as a matter of fact, and they went into a rant about how they're sick of doing it for free, and they're going to start charging the artists. And, well, you know me. I got something on my mind. I speak my mind, and
sure.
He didn't like
look.
that. He didn't like that.
The other side of that coin too is that look, we do this. There's a couple of reasons, at least in my own opinion, why we do this. First of all, it feels really good to help somebody out.
Absolutely.
Trying to climb up the ladder. But I think the second reason is more selfish. I just love doing this.
Exactly.
I just get a kick out of doing it. I've been in radio for so many years. I've been in radio for 40-plus years now. And to be on the radio again, even though this is not a terrestrial environment, it's still radio nonetheless. And we have to have certain professional standards that we adhere to. And payola is not one of them.
I agree 100%. And I will always stand by that. As far as I'm concerned, as I told so many people so many times, it's a labor of love for me, and I know it is for you as well. And
absolutely.
For me, I look at it as a pay it back, pay it forward. I'm paying back the artist whose music I played to make a living and raise a family, and I'm paying it forward to the new, emerging, upcoming artists by giving them one more stage to present themselves and their music on. And with that,
there you go.
I'm going to move right along. Speaking of music, we have an artist who's been on the show more than once. A lovely young lady and a heck of a talent. And she's got a new single out, which is the first release off her soon-to-be-released album, which we will be playing for you. I think it comes, if I remember correctly, it comes out in March or April, but whatever it is, we'll have her on the show to go over the album and play a few tracks off of it for you. A young lady by the name of Nicki Kris, and this is a song that is, as I said, the first song off her next album. It's called Heartbeat.